Welcome back to Talking Shit, where we are talking all sorts of shit. Schitt's Creek, that is. Today, we are talking Season 6, Episode 10, Sunrise, Sunset. I'm Jess Sterling, and of course, as always, I am joined by someone who has given up the drink and is strictly a wine and scotch man now. Stuart! Stuart, how are you?
I wish I could tolerate scotch.
It's
He's
just such a ridiculous
distinguished
statement.
old gentleman. Like, who drinks
Yeah.
scotch, really? Like, don't you have to be like, a business tycoon, an oil tycoon
Yeah.
to like do that? You want a scotch?
My conspiracy theory is that no one actually likes scotch. They only drink it once they've reached a certain level of like prestige, or they're trying to reach that level, and then they're like, I have to stomach this now.
Yeah. Or their taste buds are completely wrecked by
Yeah.
like cigars and other excesses of industry. Ugh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
none of that. Give me red wine though. I miss red wine. I'm not really much of a drinker these days, and I love red wine so much.
I definitely don't like red wine, and I've never really been a big wine drinker. If anything, when I was much younger, I would drink a lot of Rieslings and Moscatos, the sweet wines. But then I really feel like even like one or two glasses now, I feel like it makes my like cheeks red, and it gives me like the worst headache the morning after. So it's not even worth it. Yeah.
Welcome to your 30s.
It's brutal. Okay. Like I know people say it. Listen, I will wholeheartedly say with my full chest that your 30s are better than your 20s. Like your life is more settled. You don't have as much to prove. You're just like, you're more comfortable. At least I am. And like who I am, right? I'm more accepting of myself. All of those things are true. The main downside is that your body starts dying.
Yeah, it's disgusting that the moment you start like fully accepting yourself and getting comfortable in your skin decides to go, no, fuck it, I'm out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm done. And you're like, no, you got a few more decades, like hopefully quite a lot, few more decades to go.
I'm pretty sure that my first time with heartburn was on my 30th birthday. Like, I'm pretty sure my body flipped that freaking switch. Like, that night, it was like, it's heartburn time. The hell?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, mine was mid-COVID. People, they arranged for like us to meet up and like social distancing in a park at like 8 p.m. mid-December when it was freezing cold. We got wine drunk at a distance. I stumbled home and then immediately got ill, and then was diagnosed with like a gut problem that was like, yeah, you probably shouldn't drink that much anymore. And I was like, well, that's it. I'm done.
My life is
one
over.
last night. But yeah, it was like, it was the milestone of like a birthday ticking over. It was like, yep, you're done with this age now.
Yeah.
No more.
Listen, sometimes life sucks, but sometimes you have a nice podcast to listen to, and that's what we're here to do for you, dear listeners. Yeah, just sometimes. Every week, we're here, and we're giving you content, people. So we're talking about Sunrise, Sunset. Stuart, what'd you think about this episode?
I loved it. Loved it. And I've been like kind of a bit critical on a few episodes this season. And for me, I was like, this one was all bangers. Like, I think every plot hit on some like kind of angle, had some of the funniest things happening in it, some of the most surprising kind of like appearances that I didn't expect. Yeah, I'm really high on this one. I'm hoping you'll share the same sentiment, because otherwise I'm going to be angry.
It was one of those ones that I knew the name going in. I didn't remember exactly how I felt. Like, I was going into it expecting like a mid episode, and I came out of it being like, that was great. Like, that was a really great episode. Both, I think it kind of has a little bit of everything we tend to look for. We get a little warm fuzzies. We get some really funny comedic moments, a lot of plot progression, like truly almost every single angle of what each character is doing is moving forward this episode. So I just think there's like a lot to love. And specifically, I think this episode does a great job of, we're referencing Sunrise Bay, which has been around since the very beginning of the show.
Oh my God.
But we are like showing how much Moira and Alexis have grown in like one single episode. And it's just such a great example of that. And it is chef's kiss. It is so good.
I love that you say that it's like us being shown like how much they've grown, whereas I was there like going, no, I just want to be shown Sunrise Bay. Like I wanted to see
Yes.
it for what it was and
The
to see how
slaps.
unhinged it was. The iconic slaps that we haven't had since like what was it like
Season 1.
so early? It was like episode 2, 3 that
Yeah.
she slaps Roland like that. Iconic, yeah. So good to see them actually like in place as everyone else would have seen them, and yeah, a lot of dubious choices in the headwear department that I'm sure we'll get into.
We're going to talk about all that. We have an action-packed, we have a very heavy Moira's Wig Watch section of the podcast today. And so, yeah, let's jump into the recap with what happened this episode. Just as they're about to open the new motel, Ronnie discovers termite damage and foundation issues, which will need serious money to fix. Like truly foundation issues you'd never want to have. This is why it's important to get an inspection before you purchase a building. Unfortunately, Johnny has already promised David that he would pay for the food at David and Patrick's upcoming wedding. The food is expensive. Lobster rolls, beef tenderloin, caviar. Johnny can stomach the food, but not the cost. But he refuses to renege on his offer, even when David gives him an out. He thinks it would be wise to sell the second motel in order to not have to pay for all the damages. But Stevie, inspired by Johnny's book, which has come back around, which is just incredible, proposes that they franchise buying even more motels. I'm not a business person. I don't understand how any of this works. I'm taking Stevie's word for it. Meanwhile, Moira has an exciting job opportunity when her old producer, Tippy Bernstein, comes into town wanting her to join a Sunrise Bay reboot starring her and her old co-star, Clifton Sparks, played by the amazing Victor Garber. Eagle-eyed Alexis, who has been binging Sunrise Bay in her post-breakup funk, knows that this network needs Moira, as she's the only one making headlines. She also imparts some wisdom on Moira. Make sure you get what you deserve. And also lets Moira know of the conspiracy theory that Clifton Sparks got her kicked off of Sunrise Bay because he was jealous of her rising fame. Once this rumor is confirmed, Moira's contract negotiations go south as she has many demands, including a tennis bracelet, and she thanks Alexis for her keen eye. Incredible across the board. Ugh, Stuart, this episode was so fun. It was so good.
So fun. Let's not move on before I just formally acknowledge and give you a little clap for stomach the food, not the cost. Poetry there, Jessica. Poetry.
That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, this whole episode, like I don't know where to start because ordinarily we kind of do the whole let's almost like shit sandwich it a little bit. Let's stick the duff one in the middle. I don't think there's a duff one. I think it's all good on all fronts, right?
Maybe let's do the food talk in the middle because I think it is sad. So I think that's where that one belongs.
Fair.
It's a little on the sad side. Let's talk about the motel first because so termite damage in one of the rooms and foundation issues. It seems like they've already hired a staff, which feels a bit premature, especially because it was like there were like 5 people there. That was a lot of people. Now, like
I wonder if it was like a almost like a not like an introduction to new stuff. Maybe it was like a re-onboarding of existing.
Oh, like these
stuff,
are the people that worked there previously with the other owners.
Maybe, yeah, like when new regime, when new bosses, like hi, get to know us kind of thing. I don't know, maybe, but either way, I mean, it's a lot of commitment, right?
Yeah, and the fact that now they have really bad issues with the motel, and we know that Roland and Jocelyn have already taken out a second mortgage in order to even afford this motel, so certainly they can't be tapped for more. You know, Roland is volunteering to get rid of his other kidney, which, you know, can't live without at least one. They need money, and of course, like, seemingly, we're led to believe that the little bit that Johnny and Moira have saved up is being earmarked for David and Patrick's wedding. He has generously offered to cover the cost of the food, which as someone who got married is one of the biggest expenses. Like, food is expensive. Usually you're paying per head. So the more people you invite, the more expensive it is, especially if it is food like lobster rolls, beef tenderloin, a caviar crowd. You are in Schitt's Creek, David. Like, what are you thinking? We'll get into that whole storyline, but like, I feel bad for Johnny because, like, I feel like we went from just last episode, the episode before, them celebrating the opening, they're cutting the ribbon, they're like doing all of this fun stuff, only to then be like met with there's significant repairs that will need to happen, and foundations are not cheap. Like that is when someone says like, oh, it has good bones, you want that in a building. You want the foundation to be steady, because think about it. That is the piece that the building is on. It needs to be structurally sound. And if it's not, that's big, big, big money.
Why do you think that they didn't discover this before? I mean, obviously, like, plot is the actual like explainer, but like they didn't seem naive in going into this. Like they kind of went into this. They weren't necessarily rushed. So
I'm
do you think it's like
wondering,
a deception thing, maybe because of like
it's
the death of
possible.
the owner? Like maybe
It's
you don't know
possible.
that.
I think part of it was they rushed it, right? Like they wanted to be, they wanted to get the building, so they very much rushed an offer, meaning maybe they waived building inspections, which is again not wise to do. But I also think part of it is, if I'm headcanoning a little bit, previously Johnny was in a very high up role at Rose Video, right? Maybe he wasn't involved in the more like acquisition of other locations. And so maybe he just it didn't dawn on him to do a building inspection. But again, like someone more practical, I'm Roland even, right? Like he is like not like hands-on, mechanically inclined, right? Like all that sort of stuff. I would think that he would, especially considering Ronnie is the one who makes these discoveries. So they could have easily been like, hey, Ronnie, why don't you like check out the building? It obviously it's for plot reasons, but it does feel like, okay, what if I'm headcanoning it, it is they really rushed the purchase. They really wanted the building. Therefore, they let some other things slide. And now those chickens are coming home to roost.
Yeah, see, I was ready to blame Rodent because I was like, maybe him and Jocelyn in remortgaging and getting the money and then going in and purchasing immediately, maybe they bypassed the whole thing. And like not having it explained, it kind of works, because I think otherwise I think it'd be awful if you could really like damn one person with this debt, really. Like if they could blame Roland, then Roland would be the one on the hook for the money. Whereas like I like the fact they're approaching it as a team. I think it speaks to the kind of like the little Rosebud Motel I know group that they are, like kind of that's forming of just like, I think it's good that they're kind of tackling it all in one, but it's an awful problem to have. And like, the money, like, it's how it all comes to a head. Like, you can just see that Johnny is just so deflated by the whole thing. I was like,
He's
I felt so bad
embarrassed
for him. Yeah.
It's really awful. Like we can kind of dovetail this with talking about the wedding expense, because again, as someone who has been through, again, COVID really changed a lot of things for our wedding, but we were originally planning a wedding prior to 2020. So we were intending on having a larger wedding, which meant we had to have these sorts of conversations. My parents did help us pay for the wedding. And so that was always a conversation from the outset of like, and this should have been a conversation that David and Johnny had. It doesn't seem like they did on, okay, yes, you're going to pay for the food. How much? How much is there? Because that is a real conversation that needs to happen. So then you can budget for, okay, if you only have X amount of dollars, I know what I can afford in terms of food. Food is insanely expensive, especially for weddings, especially if you're having people who are serving the food. It depends on if it's buffet or plated. It seems like David is going for like, if we're looking at that venue he looked at, like the diamond package, like the platinum lobster rolls and caviar are like the tippity top of that scale. And I don't know how much to blame David here. I feel like the episode gives him a little bit of an out when they have him come in and say to Johnny, like, listen, I know things are expensive. Let me know if you can't afford it. Like Patrick's parents have offered us a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. But also like, if you know your dad is paying for the food, why are you then picking like the most expensive options,
Yeah, it's not a great look on David for that. But again, I wonder if it's because they've had those previous conversations. Like they previously barley was on the cards by the sounds of, like, of everything. So it's like,
Yeah.
well, this is a considerable step down. I mean, wedding food it's a complete racket. I mean, like, attach the word wedding to anything and suddenly everything's double the price.
Yep.
It's insanity. But like, I kind of can't see where David is. It's like, of all things I think I would care about most if I were to have a wedding, it would be the food, because I would want people to come away talking about the food. Like, I feel like food makes or breaks a wedding. Like,
It does.
and it doesn't even have to be like fine food. It just has to be like, tailored to
Good.
the mood of like whatever it is. Like, it has to be good, yeah. But like,
Yeah, just like if you're having like a backyard wedding, like maybe you do like a southern thing, like mac and cheese,
yeah.
like home meals, but there's still, it has to taste good. But like there's no getting around the food that David is picking and the way in which it will be served. And again, on like individual plates and everything is very
Mhm.
expensive. Like lobster rolls are not going to be cheap no matter where you get them from.
Oh no. Yeah. And it's just, but David's reaction though, like, it's just, he's so excited for it. Like when they're talking about the arugula salad and with the black truffle, and he just is like, yes. Like, you can just see that he's just so excited. And I do
Yeah.
think that a little bit of like Dan Levy is like shining through there in terms of like
Yeah.
inspiring that, considering his like kind of like passion for food and everything. But I can see why he would get so excited, because like he has this first opportunity in a long time to really indulge and like kind of have almost like a nod back to the past life of all the excesses and indulgences that they used to have, which maybe has been kind of greenlit by Johnny by going, yeah, of course I'll cover the food. And maybe it has been a bit of a blank check situation that Johnny's alluded to, whereas Johnny's maybe underestimated how much it all probably is, which I think is
Yeah.
also probably an aspect. Like, I certainly don't think that Johnny is going to be really kind of clued up on the minutiae of like how much it's actually
You
going to
wouldn't.
cost. He's
You
a
wouldn't
big
know.
idea guy. Yeah, yeah.
You wouldn't know until you're in it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
There is a massive amount of sticker shock when it comes to wedding planning. And you truly never know how much anything costs until, especially, we've talked about this in the venue hunting episode.
Yeah.
A lot of times
exactly, I
it's
was
not on
gonna
the website. You don't find out until you're there. And I feel bad for Johnny when they go to the food tasting and he is like trying to make comments to like dissuade David, which like obviously isn't going to work. It comes off as like pretty tacky, like pretty bad. I don't blame him. Again, like he's trying to get around and skirt around to the issue. What I want to know, Stuart, is what was your reaction when David does go to him and say, listen, like Patrick's parents actually set a decent amount aside. If you don't have the money, you don't have to contribute. It's totally fine. What was your reaction to then, Johnny basically being like, no, I told you I'm going to pay.
Oh, in one hand, I'm like, firstly, I think the way in which David approached it was really good, because David wasn't, I didn't know, like, he saw the situation for what it was and then acknowledged it, but didn't make Johnny feel bad about it, like, because it was just an acknowledgement of the situation they're in. Like, this is their lives and they just have to contend with the fact that they're not super rich. They don't have all this money. And so it is an extravagance and it is a lot to ask. And it's so like, it's okay for him to scale it back. So I was disappointed a little bit when Johnny didn't take it, but I can totally understand why Johnny didn't take it. Like, he made the concession with obviously the caviar plates for the caviar guests or
The
whatever.
extra 8 people, yeah.
Yeah, and like, I can see that, but ultimately it's pride is what it is. And I kind of think, but is it this whole I don't know, just the expectation that people have is like, well, I have to pay. Like, it's my duty as a parent and stuff. And I can certainly feel that there is pressure on Johnny to do that. But I certainly don't think that there's pressure that's being applied from David, which I think is really good to establish. Because otherwise, I think we'd both be really negative on David here and going like, come on, read the room, David, right?
If not for that scene, most assuredly, I'd be coming in giving David my disgruntled pelican point, because I feel like it is very insensitive of him, like, to not realize. Even still, I would argue that, like, if it's me, I think even if my dad is insisting on paying, I'm going with a cheaper caterer, like in order to then make it so it's not insanely expensive. Again, I can't get over the fact that it's lobster roll. Like it's so over the top in terms of like
Lobster
what you're
rolls are
choosing
really
as food.
good.
They are,
Everyone
but
loves
they're
lobster
also
rolls.
like, I'm thinking about this truly at the minimum. This is like $100 per plate, which is like at the minimum. So like, how many people are coming to this? We now know freaking Twyla's invited too. You know, half the town is probably invited. This is like a huge expense. And I just felt bad for Johnny because, like you said, it's a point of pride. I also think a big piece of it comes from the fact that they'd always promised David they would help pay for it.
Yeah.
And they used to be able to do that. And they used to have like this nest egg set aside for him, and it no longer exists. And I think he doesn't want to give that part up. Like he doesn't want to ruin David's dream wedding because of what happened to them. But realistically though,
yeah, it is a tough thing to reconcile when you look at like kind of the practicality of everything. But like, I think it's quite a thing because like Johnny is always the one that kind of seems to have embraced this new life the most. Like obviously like David's getting married and Alexis is thriving and things like that, but Johnny seems to be the one that seems to have acclimatized mentally with the whole thing because he appreciates the way in which the families come together. Like we've talked about it with Merry Christmas, Johnny Rose, and the whole way in which that seems to have centered around him. So it's very, and we always get Johnny kind of harkening back to like the good old days of things they used to do that were really like nice that he misses. But I never really feel a real sense of profound regret from Johnny for not having what they had before. Like it's always been like, oh, wasn't that nice kind of thing, or wouldn't it have, we could have, like, it's always been quite a vain or like simple or vapid thing, whereas this is quite a profound thing of just, I feel like we had a nest egg for David and he's lost that due to bad financial advice. And I do think there's a sense of guilt that comes from Johnny. Like the way in which Eugene Levy plays it, like when he just talks about that next egg, my heart broke for the guy. I was so sad.
Yeah.
But I think that raw honesty was totally needed because if it weren't for that, I don't think Stevie would really have plunged to not the depths, but like wouldn't have looked for as much of a fix for this as she would have if there wasn't that sense of, I want to fix this for my buddy. So good.
That's the thing is, that's why every single character on this show could not be played by anyone other than who they are played by, right? Like the casting is just so spot on because I think the character of Johnny is not super complex, but I think that you need a person who can both come off like a little bit of a buffoon, but also be so extremely endearing that you will forgive almost anything he does because he cares so deeply. Like, I mean, a lot of the time we have these characters who it's like they're the glue, they're the heart, that is who Johnny is in this family. He is the heart. He always wants everyone else to be happy and satisfied. And he will do almost anything to get to that point. And I think we can now see Stevie as now another one of his children, essentially. And I love her comforting him because he has done the same for her many a time on the show. They've really developed such a lovely partnership. And for her to say to him, like, Mr. Rose, it's not always going to be like this. Like, it just is painful, right? Like it is so painful for her to try to comfort him, but not really have any proof to back that up, that like they will get through this, that everything will be okay. And I love that it is Stevie, to circle back around to the motel storyline, like that it is Stevie who comes up with this new plan, that Johnny is ready to throw in the towel because he has no more answers. Like he doesn't know what else to do. Roland obviously isn't a master business strategist, but Stevie says, listen, like according to your book, the best way to do this would be to franchise, to buy more motels. Again, I don't really understand how any of this works, but it sounds like they need investments, right? Because I think that's what Johnny says, is they need investors. We need a proper investor to do this.
I mean, if he's struggling to pay for like the wedding food, I doubt they're going to be able to buy 30 motels. So yeah, they have to go get like third-party investments. from people who back this idea of setting up this chain of motels and running it in the way in which they seem to be running
Right.
them. Seem to be quite, I don't know, in turning this one around and making it a success that they have. If they can replicate that across 30, maybe small little wins in many
They add up,
adds up
yeah.
to more and more. Like he said, it was like you just increase the amount of dividends across the things. I thought dividends were the things that were paid in shares.
Sure,
I know
words.
I'm not a money guy.
Synergy.
Yeah, insert
Business
business term
terms.
here. Yeah,
But the good news is Johnny does say, I can call in some favors. Like he actually knows
yeah.
people in these positions that he maybe can possibly call in a favor for or from, which is
And
like huge.
yeah, and I think it makes total sense because we've often said about like kind of he can't just they can't go cap in hands to all their old friends because their old friends clearly are not their friends.
Bevan
They're just
freaking Don or whatever the hell his name is.
exactly like they can get them in because they weren't there for them as people. They were there because they were just like almost like assets. It was like I have to have
Yes.
rich friends. They're the rich friends kind of thing. So he can now approach them because this is a possibility for them to make money. So that's why the favor makes sense now, which is why I love that we're only leveraging this in the 6th season now. Like it's never been something that they've
Yes.
really kind of tried to rely
The
on before.
pacing. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I think it like that really works. But I also like the little bit of vulnerability of just Johnny being like, it's a maybe. Like nothing here is guaranteed. Like maybe they'll take my call
Mm-hmm.
because it's been a while. He's been out of the game. Like people may not respect him for it. Like I think there's a lot of vulnerability in Johnny's situation because yeah, okay, I'm not too sure. Like it wasn't the business that failed Johnny. It was the unpaid taxes that failed Johnny. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be reputationally awful. Who knows? So I think like it's a great way of kind of just showing a lot of vulnerability for Johnny this episode, and showing who's going to step up to the plate, and to show that building this buddy in Stevie and how their relationship has blossomed has been such an investment, really.
Yeah.
Um,
She's
and,
invested now in the motel more than she ever has been. And she has some really good business sense from her experience
mhm,
working in the hospitality industry. Like, that is why there is something to be said about having experience in an industry rather than a specific education in an industry, because some of this does have to do with knowing the business, and you know the business by doing the business, right? So, like,
mhm.
she is a really good partner for Johnny to have, especially when you consider they have two very different backgrounds, but they blend very well together. And Roland is there as he's helping. He's providing
Roland's
the
there,
money.
yeah.
He's helping. But yeah,
I, I,
I really loved it.
Yeah, it's just it's just so wonderful. But the one last thing I really want to like make sure we talk about is that Stevie, and that point of like it's not always going to be like this. I think this is the first time genuinely Stevie has expressed like kind of sorry that you're in the position that you're in. Like it's the first time that they've
Yeah.
elicited a real sense of, oh, you don't deserve this. You've been dealt a really bad hand in this whole situation,
Mhm.
and that never would have happened seasons ago. They're these like rich fuckers that have come here from like LA. They think that they're better than everyone. And I think finally this is just showing that John, and I think it's great that it's Johnny being the first one, that maybe the Roses have atoned for their sins of a past life, and
Yeah.
that they are fully truly accepted. Like I always feel like they've been accepted, but this I feel like they've been accepted on a kind of like spiritual level. It's like it's really deep and baked in. It's like, yeah, they're one of
Yeah.
us, and Johnny needs my help right now. See, I love
Yeah.
the way in which that all comes about from really simple writing as well. Really, like it's not. I don't think it's meant to be this profound. And maybe we're reading too much into it. Maybe I'm like going a bit off the deep end. But I love that I can do that with this show.
Well, that's the thing. That's if you have good characters, everything that builds off of that works, right? Like you need to start with a base of good characters. And the thing I love about this show is the pacing of the character progression across 6 seasons. They don't ever flip the switch and have characters become different people overnight. It takes a long time, but they do eventually get there. And that is was just like so lovely. Johnny has always been this way. He's always cared, but it is now to the point where now Stevie, like you said, Stevie sees what Johnny is going through and is trying to comfort him and saying, we'll get through this, like we'll figure this out. We can push, because she doesn't want him to give up on their dream that they've now built together, right? Like this is now the business they've built together, and so they need each other. It's just so lovely. Okay, let's talk about the silly storyline. Let's talk about the Moira storyline, the Sunrise Bay storyline of it all. Tippi Bernstein coming into town, wanting her to do a
Moira
reboot. Yeah, it's so good. I love the small details in this of like Clifton Sparks and like obviously him definitely having a drinking problem, him calling Moira Muffy. Like it's all just so, and the funny thing is, okay, because obviously we are supposed to hate Clifton Sparks. No problem. I'm there. I'm there, you know, with everyone and hating him. But I do have like a tiny, not a soft spot, but more so like his mannerisms and his voice specifically remind me of a very dear family friend who is like essentially like a surrogate grandfather to me. The way he speaks. This guy, he had like a British he wasn't British, but like he came from, you know, his parents were British, that sort of a thing. And he spoke with like kind of gravitas, and he had this like voice that would like, it was very much like it had peaks and valleys of like, it would get very, very high and very low. And like the joke back when we had answering machines, stay with me people. Okay. We had answering machines back in the day for home landlines. And he would always leave. And when you know, back in the day, if someone left a message, you would hear it. You would hear them leaving the message aloud. And we would always laugh because when he would call our house and talk to my dad, and the voice message would always be like, "Oh there, Jeffrey." And it would like really like, woo, like, and this guy gives that. Like he just, when he wants Moira to say yes, he's like, "Say yes." Like it's like, it's getting real low. Anyway, that was a very big tangent and anecdote, but like I love this character so, he's so sleazy. It's so perfect.
I love that you like kind of from the voice you get like quite warm fuzzy vibes. I think for me, very millennial, Legally Blonde, Professor Callahan, instant hatred, scumbag of the highest degree. I was like, Elwood deserved better.
Yeah. So, but see, I also get Daddy Warbucks from the 1999's version of Annie. So like Daddy Warbucks is, yes, he's rich, but he's a good guy. So
but
there's both.
The wig, I think the wig alone so immediately bad. I was like, fantastic. Just so phenomenal. So it doesn't match at all.
It's like, really bad.
Just, like I kind of expect it to just get legs and just start crawling off of his head at some point. The fact that they're in the lab coats and it's all super serial, like a procedural drama almost, and then she just like slaps and downs the pills, and the fact that Alexis is engrossed in this as well, while she's in her "you gotta mourn" phase, she's in like the chunky jumpers.
She's in the sweatpants phase of a breakup. You know, the way they match these two storylines of like having the Sunrise Bay storyline return and matching that with Alexis binging the show because she's in this like breakup funk of, we've all been there, you know. Again, I don't judge because I like trash TV sometimes. Sometimes it's like potato chips and you need to eat it, okay? Sometimes you can't be satiated by like a filet mignon. You need some trashy potato chips. So I don't begrudge Alexis for doing this. And I just think the storyline is so perfect that she falls into this, like, I am now watched all of Sunrise Bay. I am now on the message boards. I am now a moderator of the message boards. And I know all of the conspiracy theories. It's so, because of course Moira wouldn't have heard this rumor because she's not online. Like, why would she think, and she likes Clifton. She wouldn't assume that he would have really, like, you know, caused her to get kicked off of the show. She thought she did it with her contract negotiation.
Well, she's the main star in her own head, isn't she? She's not going to consider that someone else has the ability to, like, you know, waylay her life. It's all her. So, like, it makes total sense that she would do this. Alexis diving down the whole message board routes, I was just like, what a relatable queen. Who binges shows and then gets really deep into, like, the lore and looking it up online and, you know, starts a podcast about it and stuff like that? Who does that? Like, it's just strange, right? The fact that there is this conspiracy theory, and there are like these rabid Sunrise Bay fans. This I love me some lore in a TV show and a
Yeah.
universe and things. This isn't the most expansive, but it's certainly the most intriguing show that I want to know
Every
about.
nugget they drop is so
Mhm.
perfect. Why is Vivian the only one who gets possessed when Tristan also plays the Ouija game? I love Moira. Suddenly she's the director. Like the way that Moira also saying, instead of saying like thank you for your 2 cents, thank you for your pack of pennies or something like that, pair of pennies, is so good. Every nugget we learn about this show, like the cave talks back, the fact that Vivian is stuck in a cave above her daughter for 2 days and her daughter doesn't look up.
Yeah. So it's okay. She's about to look up. It's all... I want to watch this show. Why? We talk about all the spin-offs. Like, I would love to see like Stevie doing the travel spin-off, Ted and the Galapagos doing that spin-off. Hell, I would even probably give it a go. Probably wouldn't watch the whole thing, but Mutt and Tallahassee tackling the cones. Like, I'd watch that just for the mess alone. Give me all the spin-offs for this as possible. But number one, top of that list, better be this Sunrise Bay spin-off, like of actually what it is. It sounds absurd. And
how dare you make me kill my father twice? Slap, slap, slap. What is actually the way they kill Moira off? Because again, it's very soapy where it's like they've killed her off multiple times, but the fact that she vomited a demon into a toilet and then drowned in the toilet and then
they shredded her.
Shredded? What does that even mean?
That was the funniest thing for me, because like when they talk about how she was shredded and then Clifton was just like, well, that the writers fixed that. That's what they do, kind of thing. And then when Alexis describes her death as being the most embarrassing, I was like, wait, that's different than what they said. And then she goes, and then they shredded you. I was like, perfect. Perfection. What a gag. So good.
Yeah. They drop these, again, these one-liners, these very like side comments that are so ridiculous. Even beyond the Sunrise Bay of it all, Moira talking about the show that Clifton did recently. I haven't seen you since you started in that electrifying courtroom drama about the potty mouth feral child. Oh, that was an actual court case. What? What are we talking about? Like, what are we actually talking about here? It's so good. It's so good.
Honestly, like we talk about the seeing this, and like I want to see that show as well. Also, I want to see behind the scenes of these three getting like to film something, like behind the scenes, because it sounds mental. Like the dynamic between them all of this Tippy that's like going around seemingly appeasing all of the stars and like loving life, because obviously they have like this hit show or whatever, and these I mean, I love Moira, but there's no way that her arrogance and ego is warranted by this performance. Like, it's awful. And yet they think that they're out here doing the most profound art ever.
Well, and I love that both Alexis and David are like, Clifton sucks. Like, you're great. Clifton sucks. Like, it's so funny. Oh my God. Like, it was even more vicious than Vivian's getting trampled while honeymooning in Pamplona. What? Like, it's so good. I absolutely adore it. And I love that it is Alexis getting into Moira's head about Clifton was the one who ruined this for you. If he's involved, you need to have your antennas up, like make sure you're paying attention. And when Moira gets this all but confirmed by Clifton himself, she goes above and beyond what she knows they will actually give her, because to Alexis's point, she's the only one making headlines, which means they need her, not the other way around. She's the only relevant person on that cast. So of course they're going to need her, and she should ask for what she deserves and not get, bamboozled, not get swayed and persuaded by Tippy and Clifton.
Completely, because they do need her, and if it wasn't for Alexis really pointing that out, I was going to say there's no way that she gets that. I think Moira probably would get there, but she wouldn't get there as quickly, certainly.
I think she would
She
end up
wouldn't see
signing a
through the
contract that
ruse.
she then wants to like get out of. I think she would have
Yes,
signed it immediately if not for Alexis.
exactly. And yeah, it gives like with the support of Alexis, Moira has this amazing growth thing and makes an offer that they had to refuse, just the most absurd one, which is again, we talk about the growth of all these characters, and the thing I've been kind of quite angry at Moira about quite a bit is the fact that she seemingly is looking for and will take any opportunity to get out of Schitt's Creek. Here it is on a platter, and she turns it down. Ah, I love her so much
It's so
because
good.
it's like a double whammy. It's like not only is there, I don't think it comes from the adoration of Schitt's Creek, certainly. I mean, she was really strong armed into doing that little tourist video very recently.
Yes.
But it comes from her own sense of self worth. And I'm like, I think that's growth. Like, she doesn't have to love Schitt's Creek. She just has to grow as a character. And this is Moira's growth. And I'm so here for that.
Yeah.
Because she deserves it after all this.
She does. And she, especially considering the reason she is making headlines, the reason that she is, being promoted right now is in part because of the viral video of the Crows movie. But the viral video of the Crows movie does not happen if not for her making those changes in the Crows movie and wanting it to be the best it can be and really taking control of her own destiny in that way. Mm-hmm. So that happening, then having Alexis as her publicist, helping her with this big premiere, that goes viral, right? Like, these are all not things that happen by accident. They happen as a result of her really working hard and trying to succeed rather than just like letting the fame do the work for her. You know what I mean? Like, she is really putting her foot forward. And it is so lovely to then see that hard work pay off for these characters that we love because they're working so hard, because they're really intelligent in ways that you don't necessarily expect them to be, right? Moira saying, "Oh, thank you for removing my rosy lunettes, rose-colored glasses." Like the way she says everything. It's all just so lovely. Like Alexis giving her a high five. Like Alexis high-fiving people will never not make me smile. It's just so perfect.
Just a little, yeah.
It's so good. I love it. It's so well earned. And again, we get even more like ridiculous lore from this show about, Alexis is going for a run because she's afraid of getting like bed sores and she needs to cleanse her brain. And Moira's saying that the New England Journal of Medicine did a fascinating study on the show making someone feel not right in the head. The fact that Vivian was trapped in a crystal, just like, it's just so good. It's just so ridiculous. It works in every way. The fact that one storyline can be hilarious, have really incredible, ridiculous lore that makes you want to actually watch the show within the show, and be like heartfelt and plot progressing. Like every box is checked with this storyline.
Yeah, and I feel like they're using like side characters in the same way as well as a great way for like kind of season it a little bit. We get like Twyla at the beginning where they kind of bring in the whole wedding thing and setting up the whole episode altogether while Alexis is there in her kind of like state that she is in. Mm-hmm. So like it makes, I think they kind of like use everything really well. Like David's at the end, like eating the popcorn and also engrossed in Sunrise Bay, which kind of lends itself to this kind of like, awareness of the law, that it's not just Alexis in this state of mourning that is finding this show engrossing. It actually is just an engrossing show that anyone can kind of like get into, because David's just sat there watching. Why David is there, who knows? Like, it's just such a weird setup.
I think it's one of those things where you sit down to watch like 5 minutes of something, and then you're just like, okay, wait a minute, I need to know more. And because he's like eating popcorn too. Like
it's why I miss my housemates, because I like when I used to live with people, like they would watch absolute shite, and I would just catch 5 minutes of it, and it would be like real kind of like, you're like washing something or like drying something, like the dishes, and you kind of look over and you're like. Then you just walk a little closer and you're like, oh yeah, this is awful. And then you sit down next to them and then you're like, oh gosh, no, okay, yeah, I'm actually enjoying this. Damn it. I'm gonna put this away and sit down and watch it.
Again,
Yeah, it's
sometimes
exactly
you gotta watch trash. Sometimes you just have to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's great. It's so good. Especially this tiny compliment that Moira pays Alexis, right? If you did all of that without getting out of bed, imagine what you're capable of doing. Like, it is a one-off, it is like such a side comment, but like, that's a massive compliment. And Moira doesn't give out compliments very easily. It is, especially when she like earlier is like, no, don't come to my meeting with you. You need to take care of your self-care. It's just like, don't get out of bed. You look awful. It's really great. There's one tiny little bit of character lore we get this episode that I just need to talk about. And is the fact that Roland likes historical fiction.
I can see it. Not
Is it
gonna
like
lie.
Bridgerton? I feel like he's into the smut.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like kind of historical war fiction, like kind of really typical, like dad book
Bro-y.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, actually, I can see it being more of that.
Like,
Maybe.
especially he's like his kinky shit with Jocelyn. I feel like he would like a Bridgerton-y sort of a vibe. Like, he likes YA novels or something. Like that. That would not surprise me if that's what Roland liked. Maybe he does like fancy war books. I don't know, but
really wouldn't be surprised. But like, I think you nailed it with the smart option, because like I didn't consider it, but now I'm like, yeah, makes sense.
What he likes.
That and all the tchotchkes and all of the
the tchotchkes, yes, the tchotchkes.
All the Mel Street films and the weird stuff that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a man of certain proclivities, yeah.
Sure, yeah, we don't judge those, not much.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into anything else before we get into our ratings.
Oh my god, I'm sure we're missing something, but like off the top of my head, I think we've covered most of it. And I feel like we need to give a certain amount of time for a certain wig watch. So
yes, we have a lot of wigs to discuss.
Let's crack on.
All right, let's talk through the ratings. So our Simply the Best and our Disgruntled Pelican. Simply the Best is interesting. I do think there are a number of candidates. Like, my gut instinct is Moira for standing up to herself, but Alexis is the one who does the deep dive in order to then convince Moira to stand up for herself. And then there's also like my heartstrings tug for Johnny. Like, it's really hard. And then Stevie, who comes up with a new business plan. Like, there are a lot of characters doing a lot of good work this episode. Where are you leaning? Do you have any of those like four? Is one of those ones one of the standouts for you? Is there someone missing?
I don't think you're missing anyone that I can really think of. But yeah, it's a really tough one because, oh gosh. Johnny shows a lot of vulnerability. Stevie comes up with a great idea. Moira has quite a big character progression moment that's enabled entirely by Alexis. David's there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I say if I'm hard pressed to choose someone, yeah, I am. We've been doing this for how long, Stuart?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Stevie.
Okay, Stevie.
Yeah, I feel like the fact that not only does she come up with a really good idea, I mean, I say it's framed as a good idea, so I'm going to take it as it's presented to us as it's a good idea. I don't know business, maybe it isn't, who knows? But I'm going to take it as that. But the fact that she does it while citing the book, and really has clearly read it, has ingested it, and has used that to come up with a really good idea that is thoroughly researched. Like, she comes up with like 30 properties that she's already identified. And I was like, and then knows that the logical next step is that they need to go seek investment, and that's already a consideration. It's good work.
Yeah, it is.
I admire the good work.
It really is. I think this opens me up to give my point to Alexis. I think I want to give it to Moira. Don't get me wrong. I think standing up for yourself is very difficult, especially when it is someone from your old life, right? Like, you're trying to impress them. You want to take this offer. I think it's a difficult thing to stand up for yourself. I don't think she gets there without Alexis. And so I just want to reward Alexis for like a job well done from her bed while grieving a breakup, right? Like, all of this is very, very impressive work from her. So yeah, my point is going to go to Alexis this episode. As for the disgruntled Pelican point, obviously we could give it to Clifton. Like, he sucks ass. Tippy Bernstein is also fucking trash. Like, they both suck. Again, this is the argument, not the argument, but like the debate we had last time of, do we give it to someone who we know is not around long term, who is just a one-off? I do think there is someone from the main cast who could earn a disgruntled pelican point. That
I think
isn't.
there's two.
Oh, there's two. Okay.
Oh, you would say there isn't who?
That isn't one of the side characters that we just met this episode.
Okay. I thought you were going to say like isn't so.
No,
Yeah.
no. Yeah, and I mean, I think my point is to go to David. Like, truly, like it hurts me to do it, but like, I really feel like he should be picking up what Johnny's putting down and going further than just saying, if you don't want to pay, you don't have to pay. Choose a caterer that isn't serving lobster rolls. I'm sorry. Like, it's insane to me. It really, I just, as someone who's planned a wedding, like, it is just like, what are you doing? I don't know. I'm assuming neither of your two were David. So I'm really curious to hear what you think.
Well, no. One was David. Yeah, one was David.
Okay.
But I feel like I just can't believe that you would say that there's only one when Roland was in this episode and Roland was eating with his mouth full again and talking with his mouth full. Like, just
I'm just so used to him eating with his mouth full all the time at this point. It just kind of just washes over me, I think.
I can't with the
it's disgusting. The noises
alone. The noise.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to defend David a little bit more here for the whole like wedding food thing. Like, Johnny, you're not being asked to pay for it right there and then. Play along a little bit. Like, you know the situation. Yeah, it's a bit awkward. Establish that you're not paying for the tasters, and then just don't put down any hard like kind of like deposits or like cash, or like make sure that David doesn't do a firm agreement. Get out of that and then have that conversation elsewhere in private. While you're there, enjoy the tenderloin, buddy. Like, knock yourself out. Have the arugula, have the black truffle, have everything, have the lobster rolls. Fantastic. No, I feel like if I blame David for that, I have to blame Johnny a little bit, because neither read the room or each other too well in that whole scenario. So I feel okay then to give it to Roland for talking with his mouth full.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm good. I would have been upset if we both gave David a negative point, because I don't think he deserves two. No. I just need to punish him a little bit. It just like, again, as someone who like has planned a wedding with my parents involved in paying for some of it, like, just read the room a little bit. Like, you know his financial situation. You know he can't afford lobster rolls. Like, there is a way to make it so that the food is still delicious. That you don't have to get cafe tropical food, right? Like, you can do better than that. But
whoa. That green smoothie would go down a tree, I'm sure.
Let's not forget the raisin in the champagne. Okay, people. Like, truly, come on now. Roland chewing with his mouth open. I'll never not be okay with giving him a negative point for that. Like, truly, never chew with your mouth open, Roland. Stop it. Okay. It's time for the wig watch we've all been waiting for. Like, truly, there's so many. Okay, so we have two. I've included Clifton in this because he had some incredible wigs. So we have two for Clifton and two for Moira. So let's start with the Sunrise Bay wigs. So
good.
It's like a sandy brown. It just he looks like he's like a 60-year-old wearing the, you know what
I mean? It just, obviously, the wig is younger to make him look younger, because this is like, 20 years ago that they filmed this. It makes him look older, and that's even funnier for this whole setup. It works so well. Also, look at the size of that. That is a tie, isn't it? It's like huge.
Yeah, it's a huge tie. It looks ridiculous. And on the other side of him is Moira as Vivian Blake with her bob, her very straight, edgy bob, and her bangs, her heavy eye makeup. I love this. It's so ridiculous.
Honestly, iconic. I can see this like being the hairstyle of choice for many a Sunrise Bay watcher. Like, I want Vivian's hair.
Yeah.
Yes,
well, I don't think it's. I feel like it now that I've done this, right? I've like grabbed all the wigs in one episode. Look at Moira when she goes to negotiate. Tell me that's not a Vivian Blake wig.
It is a Vivian Blake wig. It's the exact thing. She's definitely going for that, because she's coming in the whole thing, reminding them of like who she is and the gravitas that she kind of brings to the whole thing.
Look at the makeup. It's so similar.
Definitely what she's going for, 100%. Because I think as well, like, there's also a thing of establishing there is no Vivian without Moira. Like, don't you dare think of recasting me, you little shits.
No, just
because
one of a
yeah,
kind. You can't recast. Also,
yeah,
side note, I know they're kind of cut off, but look at the size of the olives in that martini. Like they are enormous.
that sentence could have gone so south. I'm so glad you said olives in the martini. I was like, what's cut off there? Yeah, huge, humongous. Maybe it's the glass. Is it the perspective? Is it like a lens
Maybe. I
thing?
love olives. They look good.
Same.
And then we have one more Clifton wig, and this is from the video of the red carpet in which Clifton is so drunk and like is just basically like, yeah, there can only be one star. Very similar to his character's wig.
What is it? The house, is that the Housewives channel that they're
I think that's
watching?
what it
Like,
says. Yeah.
yeah, so good.
The details are incredible on this show. I
Mm-hmm.
love it so much. The wigs are just so like the fact that we get 4 wigs to look at in one episode makes up for the fact that they've been rather stingy with the wigs so far.
Yeah, had we not started recording this several years after the show had actually, stopped airing, maybe I would say that they've been listening to us saying that there aren't enough wigs.
Yeah. Well, now we have them. So
Mhm.
good. I love it so much. And it's time to let's rank the episode because I think we're going to be in agreement at the very least of which tier this belongs in. As a reminder, hot shit, full bouquet, love that journey for me, you David, and shit out of luck are our tiers. Stuart, if we both don't have this in hot shit, I would be so surprised.
Incredibly. Ordinarily, I kind of make the joke. I'm like, if it's not in this tier, I'll fight you. If it's not number 1, I will fight you.
Yeah,
I think this is the best episodes of this season so far. Like 100%.
Yeah, I think it is. Like, I love all 3, the premiere, the wingman, and Moira Rose. I think all 3 of them are incredibly solid episodes. I just think this episode is so well-rounded, and the fact that every single storyline hits, and some of the storylines hit in multiple ways, are both funny and endearing and plot moving and character progression and, and. Like, the fact that I could go on and on and on about how every single storyline is meaningful, it shocks me that this is, again, if I were to look at the list of episodes for season 6 prior to us even talking about this season, this would have not been the one that I would have thought we would have had at the top. Like, I just didn't remember it in the same way, but podcasting about it really had me pick it apart a lot more. And I think appreciate it a lot more rather than probably an episode like Moira Rose, which I think probably would have been my pick, at least so far, of the episodes we've covered so far, to be in that top spot because of how funny it is.
Yeah.
I think going line by line, watching these episodes multiple times before we podcast about them really allows you to see more and think deeper about it. So I'm very pleased with this episode.
Yeah, interesting. I always like kind of when we get to a certain point, kind of get curious as to how our ratings match up with like the likes of IMDb. Not that IMDb is a really good source for ratings, especially when you get review bombed for daring to show anything other than straight white couples getting together. Yeah. But yeah, funny enough, this is not the highest rated one thus far. Thus far, the highest rated one is the presidential suite, which is at 8.5. Then Moira
the Ted and Alexis stuff, probably.
And then this one. Yeah, so I think obviously Ted and Alexis is really kind of like cranking that one up. But yeah, I was actually in the premiere is at 8.3 as well. So, and this one is at a lowly, I will say, 8.1.
Wow.
Severely underrated. IMDb.
I think so. I think picking it apart really has me like loving it more just for how far these characters have come, like if we were to go back and watch the pilot again, like just vastly different people at this point in a way where they maintain who they are at their core, but they have just grown so much. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. I love this episode. Incredible. I'm so pleased. And I'm very happy that we've turned a corner. We're back to hot shit with some of our episodes here. And next week, we have another one, which looking at the name, I remember what happens, which I feel like is usually a good sign. Season 6, episode 11, The Bachelor Party.
Okay, so that means we're getting really close to this wedding. Are they going to have one Are they going to have
That's the question. So I
individuals?
want you to make some predictions. Are they having individual bachelor parties or just one? And what are they doing?
I love bringing them together. So my friends, they had, so we don't call them bachelor or
Stag.
bachelorettes. We call them stag if it's the guy, and if it's a girl, it's called a hen do. They combined them. We were out in Finland, and they had a shag do, as we called it, where we went to a Finnish sauna and then just went nightclubbing.
Ooh.
And being that it was in Finland in the middle of summer and it was really north, we went out clubbing and then exited the club at like 4 a.m, and it was still bright outside because the sun doesn't set in the summer. And so it's the most jarring
You
thing
Europeans
in
are
the
wild,
world.
man. Absolutely wild.
It was wild. But yeah, so I'm a big fan of like combining them. But I do also, there's a great UK TV show called Gavin and Stacey. Ignore the fact that it's James Corden, he's actually bearable in this. And it's like quite endearing. He's very funny in it. But they have, it's an iconic thing where they have like their own individual ones, and they're like pining after each other and like kind of on the phone to each other. Really good stuff. So and I think this merits in, I'm waffling. I don't know what I want. All I want is I want them to like have a party. So and I want to see them get really drunk. I want it to be like the housewarming. I want that energy.
Okay, so are we thinking a house party, like they're doing it in, like they'll be at the motel?
I think
maybe at the...
certainly got to go out for one, right?
Are they going to go to the? I forget the name of the local pub that we've been at a few times now.
Oh, the Wobbly Elm.
Wobbly Elm. That's it.
No, you got to go out, right? You got to go like out in the town.
Yeah, I didn't have a bachelorette party. I don't know what to tell you.
Didn't you?
No.
Is that just?
I mean,
you didn't.
it was during COVID. What the hell was I gonna do?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, makes sense.
I can't really go anywhere. My husband.
Not gonna get wine drunk on a park bench like I did for my birthday.
I'm trying to remember. He went camping with some guys, and I don't think it was his. I think it was his friends. Was in Cooperstown, New York, which is like has the Baseball Hall of Fame is there, and they did like there's a bunch of like wineries and breweries out in that region. And they did that. No, I didn't do anything. I don't regret not doing anything. Honestly, if I were to do anything, it would have been like, hey, everyone, come over to my house and we'll like hang out, drink, and play board games. That would be what I would want to do.
Good night.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go to a bar. It's not my scene.
Maybe it will be the same.
No.
David does love board games. Maybe they can.
Oh, he does.
Games.
Does love a board game. Yeah.
Well, we come full circle. Who knows?
If it helps at all, we are going to have a guest, Todd the Librarian, on to talk about this episode. So if that helps you figure out what they're doing, it probably won't, but you never know. That's what
something
we're gonna do.
Horror film or musical related.
Good guesses. So that will be next week, season 6, episode 11. In the meantime, check out everything we have going on at Talkin' Schitt and find us on YouTube. Follow us there. And if you're into Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Sarah and I are still covering that over on Schitt 90 Shows Taught Me. We are in season 5. And if you want to listen to sibling dynamics being debated, go listen to our most recent podcast, because let me tell you, Stuart, I know you're an older sibling. Yeah, you're an older sibling. Yeah, okay, I thought so.
Yeah, best sibling.
I will defend a younger sibling to my dying day. Okay,
you're a second draft. Like,
listen, they didn't get it right the first time, so they had to have another.
Hey,
just saying. So I mean, go listen to that podcast if you're interested.
Where the potential mistakes that came first. So yeah, you're probably right.
We get into the Dawn of it all and whether or not we like Dawn as a character and if she's annoying or not, and on and on. So go check out that podcast if you're so interested in that. And anything else, Stuart? Anything else you want to tell people about before we get on out of here?
The Gilmore Girls watch continues.
Where are you at now? You're in season 2, right?
Just on season 2. Dean and Paris are now in the opening titles, which I'm very happy for. Love me some Paris.
Of course you do.
Little cabal of really, bitchy friends.
They're all great.
I
like the dark hair one, especially. I forget her name, but I find her Eloise. Or is it the other one?
No, Louisa. Blonde. Is it Madeline, the other one?
Madeline. I love her.
Yeah.
She's ridiculous.
The pair of them, like absolute coven, the three of them all together. But yeah, I met Trix as well, who is a lot. But yeah, loving that. I can't wait for it to go downhill because I hear things do.
When I rewatch, which is like every couple of years, I'll throw it on, especially when it's fall, autumn, season. I
Vibes.
will usually stop watching around, I think season 5. I think there are 7 seasons and it gets bad after like 5.
Wow.
That's usually where I stop, I think. But you haven't even hit the best. I'll be very interested to hear your shipping takes once you get to certain ships.
Interesting. I tell you what has absolutely blown my mind though is Demi from Dropout, and like who's appeared on like Game Changer and I think Make Some Noise, but like has been on many a Dropout episode. Originally was the Gilmore Guys podcast from years ago.
Okay,
And
just blown my brain with that. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not listened, but I'm aware of it because it's a very famous podcast at this point.
I went searching for it on YouTube because I was like, oh, every podcast is a video podcast, not ones that were back then. No,
it's too old. It's too old for that.
But yeah, I found them singing a cover of Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, but to the lyric of Amy Sherpa Palladino, whatever her name is, like the
Amy
writer.
Sherman Palladino,
and I was like,
yeah,
exactly.
Oh, Amy Sherman okay, I get it. Yeah.
But I was like, wait, that looks familiar. I was like, that's fucking Demi. And I was like,
that's
blew
wild.
my mind. So yeah, I've got a podcast to listen to now as well.
Yeah. Oh, Gilmore Girls is such a vibe. It is such a fall vibe. Like the characters will piss you off time and time again, but it's just a fun show. It's not super serious. But actually, speaking of dropout people that just show up places, there's this show, this Amazon Prime show called Upload. They just did their 4th and final season. And Vic from Dropout was on like season 1, and I was like, wait a minute, is that Vic? And they come in with a transatlantic accent. It is so funny.
Vic's transatlantic accent is amazing when they try it on the
and they have it in this show.
Yeah, perfect.
They're like a side character who only shows up a few times, but every time, and they were in season 4, and I was like, oh my god, Vic is back. Anyway, check out Upload. It's fun. It drops off. Season 2 is not so great, but then season 3 is a little bit better, and then I haven't finished 4 yet, but 1 is really good and really funny.
Hey, I tell you, the thing we've been talking about, Dropout as well, the thing that brings it all together. Watch Dropout if you're not watching Dropout. It's really fun.
If you're not, it is my favorite subscription, like television thing I have. I get the most bang for my buck on my Dropout subscription of anything else. So,
and they're really cool on password sharing. Like if anyone wants password,
my brother has my password. My parents have my password. Will's cousin has our password. We've converted a lot of people. Yeah. Oh my god, so good. All right, well, we'll be back next week with more talking shit, more Schitt's Creek. Until then, everyone, warmest regards
and best wishes.